So how confident then are you that David Littleproud will remain leader of the party?
Look, very. I mean, look, yeah, there are 2 or 3 malcontents in the room. I mean, there are 2 or 3 malcontents in every room. You know, you can be at your local sporting club at an AGM and there's going to be 2 or 3 people unhappy, and that's fine. They would have their reasons for that. But, you know, in my opinion, what I see, I talk to all my colleagues. I think David has strong support. Again, there was a lot of transparency about it. The room owned the decision, remember. The room owns what we did. So there's no discontent with him on that, and I think his leadership's very strong, and I think this talk is misguided.
So there's no. So what you're saying is there's definitely no threat from, say, a Michael McCormack. You don't believe that there's going to be any threat to David Littleproud's leadership at all?
No, in my humble opinion, no, I don't. And if there was, and I'd be surprised if there was, I don't think it would go well.
Kevin, what do you say to Liberal senators? You've got Andrew Bragg, Paul Scar, Jane Hume, who have all alluded to their concerns that the Nationals are dictating Liberal Party policy outside of the usual shadow cabinet framework by having Susan Lee agree in principle to the 4 points that you have raised without her getting agreement from her party.
Well, what I would say is, and that's why they were unique, there's a lot of other things I'd like, James. I like zonal taxation. There's a whole lot of other things I'd like to introduce. But why those 4 were important is they had been taken through the shadow cabinet process in the last parliament. We went to the election with these as our policies. So they'd gone through a whole process with basically all the people that you mentioned. So they'd already been approved. Not easily, mind you, and that's why we wanted to keep them on the table and not see them disappear, because there was opposition to them through that process. But they were approved and they were coalition policy, and because they're very dear to us. And James, it's been interesting, you know, we obviously get feedback from our communities what's gone on, and I've spoken to my colleagues. A lot of strong support for us as Nationals MPs from our community about this. And I was out last night at a Beef Week bowling casino, and I had a number of people come up to me. One lady said, thank you on the communications bit at least, because I live 4 kilometres from the centre of casino and don't get mobile reception. So people in the bush understand what those 4 policies meant and why we were making a big deal about them.
Yeah, no, look, fair enough. Kevin Hogan, it's nice to catch up with you. Thank you so much for joining us on the show this evening. Really appreciate it.